Hi everyone. My name is Rishabh Darwe and I am from Function Up School of Technology, and I'm pursuing my BTech in Computer Science and Engineering from Function Up School of Technology. I am in my second semester of my college. So I'm practicing DSA in Java through LeetCode platform. So I was going through a LeetCode question 7, reverse integer, and the question number in the LeetCode platform is 7, and the outline for the question or the heading is reverse integer. So while outlining and breaking down the question in parts from just knowing the heading of the question, it says reverse an integer. So basically in this question, you have been given an integer, you have to reverse that. So let's understand the question. And the difficulty level for this question is medium. And let's understand the question through the description. It has been given that you have been given a signed 32-bit integer x. So we have been given an integer that is a 32-bit integer, and we have to return a integer x with its digits reversed. If reversing x causes the value to go outside the signed 32-bit integer. So basically it's mean to say that if our reverse integer overflow the condition of the range to 32-bit integer or the range of -2 to the power 31 to 2 to the power 31 minus 1, then we have to simply return 0. That's what all the question says. So let's understand the question more by the help of examples which have been given. Input x is given 1, 2, 3, and output is given 3, 2, 1. So all the digits is being reversed, and the reverse is being given as the output in this question. Similarly, in the second example, -123, then the output is -321. So while noticing both the examples, what's happening in this question, we are simply reversing the digits and then returning that value inside the output. If that condition doesn't fulfill or it uh, exceeds our range which have been given 32-bit signed integer, then we will simply return 0. So now let's start our question first. So in this question, to solve this question, at first I want to initialize my variable, and the variable I'm going to initialize with the data type is long. So I am using a long data type here. So inside the question, if my while reversing the digits, if it exceeds the mm, range of my integer value, then it don't cause any error to my reverse integer. It gets stored in the long value. So the variable which at first I'm going to initialize it with long variable. So I've taken a long variable and given the name of my variable as final n, and I am initializing it with 0 at first. Now we have created a variable, and this we will return when we will store the reverse integer in this final n variable which we have initialized. Now I'm going to approach for this problem. So we have been given an integer. It can be any integer. So let's say the integer is 1 to 3 as given in the example. So to reverse the integer, we have to simply take out the last digits one by one and store them somewhere and check them for the overflow condition. If it's surpassing our range of 32-bit signed integer, then we will return 0, else we will return that integer. To do that, what we will simply do, we will use the iteration method. And while the iteration method, we will use the while loop. Why will I use the while loop? Because in the while loop, the condition execute until it is true, and it won't execute if the condition inside it false. So we will simply use the while loop in this condition, and inside the condition, we will pass the criteria as x not equal to 0. So till then x not equal to 0, we will execute this loop, and then we will simply complete our condition as final n is equal to final the variable which we have initialized, final n into 10 plus final final n final n into 10, and then x modulo modulus operator, x modulo 10. So simply the line which we have write down after the while loop is simply the final n which we have initialized will get updated every time. uh, we will multiply it with 10 and add it with the last digit of that number. So the last criteria which you are seeing in this line of statement will simply using the modulus operator, and what modulus operator does, it gives us the remainder of after performing the operations. So the x integer which have been given when divided by the 10, and the remainder will pops out the last integer, last digit of that integer, and it will get sum up with the final n, and the final n is storing the values till now, and this will execute and store the reverse integer in this format. Now what we gonna do here is x by 10. So after that, every time we will execute this code, we want our x, the integer which have been given to us, will get divided by 10. So the digits will get reduced, and this won't cause any issues. So all the digits get cut down one by one, and the execution will run smoothly. Then we will check for the overflow condition after that, because it can be possible that we have stored our final n inside a long variable. So there can be possibility that during the execution, some of the test cases inside the function can be long variable, and this don't cause any problem to our final n variable which we have initialized. So let's check for the condition if final n greater than integer dot max value, or final n is less than integer dot mean value. So we know the range of integer in Java programming language or in programming language there are certain range. So to check for the overflow condition that it doesn't surpass the integer range, we have to check for our variable is fulfilling our criteria which we have passed or not. If this condition will fulfill, then it will simply come out from this condition. If not, then it will simply return 0. Now what's going to happen after that, we will, if this condition will be false, then we will simply return our variable, and we will typecast using the parenthesis and passing our variable final. So that's all the code for this, and all the conditions I have explained to you. And here you can see that the time complexity will be big or log n, because the iteration is going through each digit in this integer only once, and this makes our code robust and makes it efficient in case uh, our code is checking for a larger test cases. And the space complexity will be bigger one, because it's only taking the few of constant space, and the long final n is not the permanent storage inside the condition, so it's not taking the proper space complexity. So space complexity for our code is big one. So the test cases have been passed. Now let's check whether our code is going to submit or not. So the test cases have been passed, and the result have been shown to you. So that's all for this question. Thank you.